And this has never happened before, and it will continue to grow. And so we're in a most beautiful time, actually. Although there's still a lot of all kinds of people trying to manipulate us, but that's been from day one. And manipulation is something that all of nature does, by the way. Flowers do it, trees do it, bugs do it. All God's creatures do it. We always try to manipulate things to our benefit. So it's trying to manipulate things is as natural as it gets.
No,
actually.
But when you say, Mellen, we're not going to have end times. Don't worry, this is not going to get. But you're not saying we're not going to get hit by an asteroid one day or some kind of life-threatening thing happens to us, right?
I was shown the mass potential of the Earth, and the beautiful thing is, no, we will not. The interesting thing is that the Earth will die, though. The sun will die and the Earth will die eventually, and we have about another good 10,000 years on Earth. But in the next 400 years, we will begin star-seeding other planets. We're like the little birds that can't stay in the nest forever. Our manifest destiny is to take life with us into the stars.
As they did probably with us, maybe.
As where we came from originally. And so this is our manifest destiny. And believe me, once we have the replication technologies and diamonds and gold don't mean anything anymore, and free energy is a metaphor for free spirit. It's not actually being suppressed like people think, because when a time is right for an idea, nothing can suppress it. So free energy,
even if they try.
Even if they try. Just like, all the blacksmiths tried to hold back the automobile and they couldn't. So when the time is right, and the time is more right than ever at this point for these new energy devices to come out, and believe me, if we don't do it, China will, somebody will. And so these are all about to pop out in the next 50 years, and probably in the next 5 or 10 years, actually, we'll be seeing these things, and they're that close to manifesting and being here. So the future, so free energy is about free spirit. Are we ready to be free? If we are, then all these ideas that represent freedom will manifest.
Did you, prior to the near-death experience, did you have this outlook of life? I don't think you did you?
No, I didn't. And I believe the world was a very dangerous, negative place. I believe that the world was going to end in my lifetime, and I believed humans were dark and evil. And
some are.
Well, actually, I have seen people that you might consider evil, but then I asked this question on the other side. I asked, why are humans so dark and evil? And the light turned into a mandala, if you know what that is, or like cathedral windows.
Right.
It turned into a mandala of human souls, and I was taken into it. And I was allowed, it seemed like, to look into every human soul, including my own. And I tell you, I saw no evil whatsoever. And then I was shown something incredible. The next thing the light showed me was the great and mighty mosquito. Did you know that the mosquito to this day kills and ravages human beings and animals more than all the human wars on Earth?
Absolutely. And I still wonder what its purpose is.
And the light asked me, is the mosquito evil? No, it is not.
Other than being food for, let's say, birds and stuff, what does it do? Exactly.
And you can say there are some humans that are that way.
Sure.
You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
So the great and mighty mosquito has had more of an effect on humanity and history than people even imagine. And to this day, if you check World Health, it's still the biggest killer of humanity on Earth.
Would you call yourself spiritual or religious right now?
Well, I'm not religious at all, but I do have a great spiritual life now, but it is not at all religious.
Have you put together that thought process of how we got here, and even though you said earlier there's no plan here, but what put it all together? There had to be this godlike figure somewhere, this divine intervention. Something somewhere is intelligent behind all this design, don't you think?
Well, I can only tell you what the light has shared with me, and that I was told that the universe is not an intellectual exercise, and that if you try to understand it intellectually, you will miss it. It's like a rainbow. If you're only looking at purple, say intellectual, you're going to miss all the rest. Or if you're only down in red, hedonism, partying, then you're going to miss all the rest of it. The universe was not a intellectual exercise, and so if you try to look through it through that lens, you will not understand it. You will understand some of it, but you will not understand the fullness of it. You have to look at the whole rainbow, and so we're just beginning to understand that, and that even the concept of no beginning and no end seems mysterious to us.
Sure.
But that is the truth. There was no beginning, and there is no end to this. And in fact, the very body you're in right now, if you just look at your hand, your body has already been alive forever. It didn't come from anything dead.
We're made with stardust, aren't we?
We are. We're absolute pure stardust, and that is always in creation and recreation. So it actually is incredibly wonderful and mystical and magical in that way, and that we can't understand everything at this point is part of our process. And that the other gift we've been given is that you may never ever find out everything, and there will always be a mystery. And I have come to love mysteries. I don't try to know everything now. In fact, I crossed a line many years ago where I know too much, and I tell people, whatever ignorance you have left, cherish it. You will miss it when it's gone.
It's kind of good to be inquisitive once in a while, though.
I love a mystery, yeah.
Are you bullish on our future?
I'm very, very positive. We have been through these cycles many, many times before, but they tend to get bigger and bigger. Now, because we're a global society, now it's a global issue, and I think as Peter Russel has said, issues are soul size now, and everything we do affects everyone else. And this is also what's going to pull us together like never before.
Of all the prophets or the psychics that you've dealt with in your life, people that you know about, is there anybody that impresses you?
I'm not really into psychics and stuff like that, actually. Gene Roddenberry still blows my mind.
Right.
And Edgar Casey, and I've been to the Edgar Casey Center and lectured there and reviewed his materials. He was amazing. And there are amazing people like that around that can retrieve information, useful information that can help you. But I don't... Well, what I learned on the other side is that what people call psychic really isn't psychic. It turns out that the most psychic part of yourself is your first brain. It looks like the reptilian brain.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that is because everything is psychic, from bacteria to you. And that is what we call psychic ability is actually located in the lower brain. And it was originally a survival mechanism to sense danger, sense water, and it all has to do with the very natural process of what you might think is psychic. And a friend asked me once, because I told him something, you must be psychic. And I said, no, you don't have to be psychic to smell the fish.
Yeah,
Exactly. But
you're perceptive.
Yeah, and so when someone says they're psychic and they just tell me what I already know, like my car is green or this, that, and that's not psychic. That's called telepathy, wireless communication, which is one of the easiest thing to do is read someone's mind and go through their files. And people seem to be blown away if you can tell them something they already know. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. And by the way, tell me about what you've been saying lately about feeding the world, which one day is going to be very important.
Yes. In my book, it's called Tricks with Fish. And remember the story of Jesus on the mountain feeding the masses with the fish.
Exactly.
This is replication technology that's coming in. In the future, in the not-too-distant future, we will be able to replicate food as much as we want. In fact, in the future, we don't drill for water anymore. The people of the future go, we drill in the ground for water. We just make water any way we want. In what you might call replicators. And you can make it, it's all natural because there's only nature in the universe, electrons and atoms. And so that literally the things that you've seen on Star Trek, replicating food and water, is quite common in the future, and there is no shortage of anything, which really takes us out of survival. And once we're out of survival, You don't need oil companies. You don't need kings. You don't need any of that stuff.